Joe Mills at 180 Health and Fitness, Edinburgh and Berlin. I'm one of the personal trainers in Edinburgh. I'd like to just quickly talk about sort of niggles and injuries that you can pick up in the gym. Just on the back of a tweak one of my clients got when his form just slipped very slightly on the bench press, which is known to kind of expose shoulder issues anyway. It's as fantastic an exercise as the barbell bench press is. It is known for potentially causing problems with shoulders if you go heavy and your form slips a bit, or if you've got any weaknesses there. Okay, so first of all, injuries, niggles. Welcome to the world of training, if you have picked one up. It's fairly likely that at some point you will at least tweak something, and that's just, say, a small pull, or you do something and it just feels uncomfortable and doesn't feel right, or you'll get an injury such as a pulled muscle. Hopefully you'll never get anything worse than that. The harder you train, the more likely this is to happen. You can mitigate this as much as possible by always using correct form. So don't fling weights around like a numpty, or chuck way too much weight on and just try and go through it. Don't lift with your head, not your ego, first of all. Having spotters as well certainly helps, and just potentially recording your set, or just having someone to watch, see what your form's like and give me any pointers. On top of that, there is still the chance that there's some weakness somewhere that's come from day-to-day life, or just your own biomechanics, the way your body is. Training hard tends to expose weaknesses on our body. You'll get a small injury. Now, what do you do? There's all the sort of RICE protocols: rest, ice, compression, elevation, etc. But if this happens part of the way through that session, what should you do in that session? Stop. Okay? Straight away, stop. Okay? Don't work through it. Working through it is not a good idea for, I'd say, at least 99 times out of 100 cases. Carrying on with the stuff, going through the pain, is only going to make the issue worse. Now, depending on what it is that you've hurt, it might be possible to work around it. If it's very painful, then obviously you've got potential having to go to the doctor or physio or something to get it looked at. But don't carry on working in the same way. If something hurts, stop. Something someone I know said quite a long time ago, which always rings true, and I'm guilty of it myself. I should listen to my own advice more often as well. Rest takes a few days, rehab takes a few months. If you tweak something, rest it. Okay, a week out the gym isn't the end of the world. A few months out the gym, or not being able to train to your full potential because you're having to let something heal, can really set you back a bit. Not necessarily physically, your life, in the grand scheme of things, a short time, but let's face it, you've got years and years and years of training ahead of you. But in terms of what it does to you mentally, it can be very frustrating, if not depressing, and it can also then have knock-on effects onto what you do with your nutrition, because you kind of give up with health overall, or not necessarily give up, but just let it slip a bit, and in your life outside of the gym as well, just because it makes you a bit miserable. Okay, so if you pick something up, stop doing whatever it is that's caused the issue, and anything else that further exacerbates it. As in, if you do a bench press and you pull something and you try doing something else and that hurts as well, don't do that either. Okay, give yourself at least a day or two's rest. See how it goes. If you think it might be more serious, by all means get it checked out, but do not work through it. Okay, there's no issue working around a problem. When I say around, I mean if you've pulled a muscle in, say, your left leg, there's nothing wrong with training your upper body at all, and even potentially your right leg to a degree, and depending on the muscle in your left leg, you might be able to train one or two things there, but not if it hurts. If something is hurting there, it's not good. Okay, cheers.